Wie viel kann man hier das ganze Zeug einpacken? Was ist jetzt da los? Nee. Wie schaut's denn aus? Sind wir schon wieder live? Ja, sind wir. Okay, geil. Deckfessel, was für ein Mannnamen für diese blöde Station. Aber sie wollten, dass es richtig alienmäßig ist. Deswegen haben sie es nicht einfach Uni genannt oder sowas. Wurde schon cooler gemacht.
You still thinking about what the scientists told us?
So
About where
viel Video.
Renans really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Dahnans further reason to resent us.
But you still intend to confront this truth head-on, don't you?
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, and not the dead. Even as I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. I hated them just for being Renan. But you changed that, Dohalim. You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives. Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like
Fuck
that.
you.
There were those of you who were good, and that was a start. When it comes down to it, Renans are just people. They can be good or bad, just like Dahnans.
That is, in essence, the heart of your approach, isn't it? That we're all people.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, then you have the chance to come to an understanding. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about massive numbers of Renans and Dahnans alike. Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more? That's the ideal future you hope to see when this is all over?
Yes, I do. I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy. Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegus when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegus proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menancia, you know.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you, Doe.
No.
Did you just... Never mind. Thank you, Kisara.
Sag doch
I
Küss,
appreciate your
Sarah.
patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know, I hadn't actually thought of it that way before. But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Mann, Doha, Limada, sie will noch mehr von dir niedergerissen haben. Oh, die zwei.
Hey, why'd you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well,
Weil die jetzt alle
if
Pärchen
everything
werden.
we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle. So I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
I was being real stupid before, about whether Dahna's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dahna's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I also want to believe it's good.
Believe?
Na, das war bestimmt.
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside me. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning, even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dahna's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trust it, Rinwell, and that's enough for me. So I'll trust it because you do.
Oh. Teenage
Remember
love
what I said
Scheißdreck.
about neither planet's great spirit reaching us here?
Yeah?
That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and everyone else.
You... what?
I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really small amount, so it doesn't feel like it has a will of its own. But I think that's how Dahna's energy probably is too.
Ja, das hat doch erklärt,
So
dass
you're
das auf alle
saying there's a
verteilt
little
ist.
bit of Dahna's will inside each of us? In a way, doesn't that mean we're all Dahna's will?
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dahna's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dahna's astral energy inside us...
Yeah. Maybe...
Hefric 35 might know the answer.
Let's ask him! And then...
But, you know what? I don't need to ask it. My will is my own. I fight for who I want to fight for. That's who I am now. Who I've become. So thanks, Rinwell, for sharing that with me.
Haben die überhaupt eigene Musikthemen? Außer Alfen und Shion. Und Doha-Lim, glaube ich, habe ich vorher gehört.
To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dahna's will... Well, I mean, it mostly was... I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No, what were you saying?
Saying? I don't remember
Come
saying
on.
anything.
Now you won't tell me what you were
No,
thinking?
that's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already.
Oh Mann. Willst du mit mir gehen? Ja, nein, vielleicht.
Are you sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Xion?
Same as you, still trying to absorb everything.
Die zwei sind das beste Paar. In Tales.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dahna? All of that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Sogar besser als Aspel und Sharia.
Ages and ages ago. Everything that's happened since we first met. So many fights, so much chaos, so many wonderful people.
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have met all of you. I never would have held the blazing sword or looked for something more. I wouldn't have my memories back. I'd still be a faceless slave, like as not long dead.
Vermutlich.
Hey, Alphen. I want you to promise me something.
Wie jetzt kommt,
Ja?
kill me if I scheiße.
If we can't find the Renis Alma, there's something I want you to do.
Ja, ich hab's gewusst.
Like Hevricht 35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we can't get the Renis Alma back, you'll use the blazing sword to destroy the Great Spirit, and me along with it.
Huh?
It's true the blazing sword may not have the strength of the Renis Alma. But it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything that
Listen,
we've...
the Great Spirit isn't just our problem. It's a threat to our entire world. Renans and Dahnans alike. We don't know what's going to happen when we face it. But we need to be prepared for anything. We can't second-guess ourselves when the time comes. I promise you, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm prepared to fight with absolutely everything I've got. But if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared too.
Fair enough.
Okay. But you should know that I'm not going to give up on you, Xion. I'm going to fight this until the very end. I hope you can forgive me for that.
Alphen. Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
Thank you, Xion.
Küssen. Auf
So
geht's.
it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
Sowas muss man besiegeln.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made any
Ach, das hab ich
contact
ganz
a
vergessen.
mistake no one would ever make twice.
Küssen
After
funktioniert
they'd
nicht.
seen what could happen, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone willingly reach out to me. But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me. And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never known before. But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
You won't have to worry about that for much longer.
You think so?
I do, because Shion,
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone. Okay?
Yeah.
Warum muss da jetzt
Okay.
das so umeinander geschoben werden, Alter? Das ist sogar in Final Fantasy an die dann nicht so lange umeinander wursteln immer mit der Sache. Da wird aber gesagt, was Sache ist. Wird Rinoa zum Squall gesagt. Schmusi, schmusi?
Everybody get enough rest? You ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only descend down to Rena, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore stability to both worlds.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dahna and Rena.
Right. We've come this far. We will save our worlds. That's a promise.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Hevrek 35? You can see us from where you are?
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds of Dake Faisal.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrect 35 a break. It has been stuck in this tiny facility for a very, very long time.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship. You can now make use of its warp drive.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us? What brought us here?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helganquil, after all.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait, should?
You'll need to be careful. Due to the force field surrounding Rena, the ship will be unable to go any further than the surface of the planet.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot. Understood.
We gotta go all the way down just walking?
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great Spirit? I have a strange feeling we're going to have to fight them before this is all over.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
We understand.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Doe.
Hold up, did you just...
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have one last question.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy.
So schaut's aus.
Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
You mean it is because of multiple chance interactions? The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable. Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
It's hard to explain. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand. All right, time to get back on the
Das war's?
fights.
Kein Finale, weil wir geil sind, Antwort oder sowas? Ich meine nochmal kurz in die obere Ebene und von da nochmal rumkommen. Ja. Wir müssen ganz schön weit weg teleportiert werden, ha? Wenn man die von hier aus so klar sagt, dann sind wir ja scheiße weit weg, oder? Ja, sonst nichts. Nochmal irgendwas? Verkäufer oder sonst noch irgendwas? Während ich gerade Dings spiele, ich spiele ja nebenbei auch Endless Madness Returns. Da sage ich die ganze Zeit, wie geil die ganzen Dungeons oder die ganze Spielwelt ist. Wie obercool, überall ein cooles Zeug ist. Und ich muss sagen, während ich hier so rumlaufe, das Spiel an sich ist geil. Tales of Arise ist cool. Aber das wirkt alles steril irgendwie, wie so ein Flur einfach, als wenn immer alles irgendwie Flure waren. Die müssen mal anfangen, die Sachen nicht in einem Baukasten zusammenzubauen, die Level, sondern richtig wie früher, wo man Zeichnungen gemacht hat.
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive a spin.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is dead.
Then this must be the hollowing.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is that stuff?
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, it went after Dahna.
So arresting. This world of doom.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dahna is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past. This is all that will remain.
So the Great Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude, until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and emptiness.
With nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dahna, looking for another host.
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dahna's going to look like?
we can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive. It looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
Im Prinzip, ja. In der Praxis.
So this is Rena. This is where everything began. Yet it's a dead world?
I won't let Dahna suffer the same fate. Ever.
Also wenn man mal schaut und sagt, dass hier Konstrukte waren, die wo ausschauen, als waren es heiser gewesen und sowas, dann glaube ich nicht, dass der von Haus aus, Bewusstsein gehabt hat. Ich glaube, die haben irgendwas umgestellt. Irgendwas haben sie gemacht, was diesem scheiß Ding ein Bewusstsein gegeben hat. Und ab dem Zeitpunkt waren es gefickt.
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see. What do you think would happen if we fell in?
What do you mean, what would happen? You'd drown, wouldn't you?
Come to think of it, I don't believe I've heard of someone ever trying. Perhaps you'd like the glory of being the first?
Nah, I'll pass.
This is essentially a world-sized Renan graveyard. Are you proposing to disturb the dead slumber just to satisfy your curiosity, Law?
No, because I said I passed.
Taking an interest is understandable, but let's not forget where we are. This place deserves our respect.
Looks like we're not going to be hearing the end of this one for a while.
You'd think I was already snorkeling in it or something. So the idea is to seal the Great Spirit inside the Renas Alma using the Sovereign and Maiden's power. But just how do we do that exactly?
I'm guessing it won't be as easy as holding a spirit channeling ceremony at our leisure.
I already had wielded astral energy once 3 centuries ago. As for suppressing her thorns, Shion's had a lifetime's experience. The problem isn't just our enemy's strength, it's that it's sentient too. And you can bet anything you like it's not going to just sit back and let us destroy it.
In other words, we need to find some way to weaken it in advance. The Great Spirit, that is.
Back when Shion's thorns flew out of control, we were able to deal with them directly. If this is their host, they should be even more corporeal here.
If that's the case, it should make them easier to attack at least. And if we can manage to divert enough energy away from the spirit's core, even temporarily,
we might just be able to weaken it enough to steal the Renas Alma, which we can then use to seal it away forever. It won't be easy, but it's our only shot. Time to buckle up. Question for you. Let's say, knock on wood, everything turns out for the best.
What'll the world be like? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this, do you really think everything will be that different?
Yep.
A lot will have to change, that's for sure. The world will have to adjust to so much. My only worry is if those changes turn out to be merely skin deep.
What do you mean?
It's well and good putting an end to Renan rule. But if it just turns the tables, it's all for naught.
That's true. Just as bad if the Dahnans started pressing their own.
Renans, Dahnans, astral art users, mages. The world is full of labels used to divide and separate people.
If only we could see differences like that for what they are. No different to someone having a musical talent or being good with their hands. Not differences so much as characteristics.
It will take someone in power to set an example. But with time, people will follow. And then, perhaps one day,
there will no longer be any need for the example.
That's where we come in. We can set the example. Imagine it. A world where magic and astral arts are used to help people. Where that's the norm rather than the exception.
Yeah, you're right, Rinwell. Why wait for somebody else? We can show them ourselves.
komische Scheiße, Alter. Gerade an der Waffel eingebissen. Dann gemerkt, irgendwie schmeckt die komisch. Schaut. Ja, fuck, anscheinend war das Backerl irgendwie undicht und das ist wohl leicht umschimmelt. Zum Glück habe ich noch nichts abgeschluckt. Hab mich schön wieder ausgespuckt, die Scheiße. Also was ich jetzt mache ist, ich habe momentan gar nicht vor, da jetzt Renner mache. Was ich jetzt mache ist, ich gucke mal. Was für ein Level die Gegner hier haben. Dann schauen wir, welche Level die Gegner in den anderen Bereichen. Wo ich nochmal habe. Mit dem Quest ist es immer so eine Sache.
Looks like we've warped into that pit of astral energy.
I wonder what Helganquil civilization was like at its zenith.
I can imagine that'd be something you'd take an interest in.
There's no question it must have been advanced, like none either world has ever seen. We could surely stand to learn a thing or two from such a people.
I get that you're itching to delve into its history, but we've got bigger fish to fry right now.
Put a pin in it, and you can do all the research you want when you retire.
I can think of worse things than a retirement dedicated to research. As for whether Rena is amenable to an aging specimen...
It's a little early to be giving it serious thought just yet.
A man can dream, though. A man can dream.
Oh, we didn't say there's anything wrong with dreaming.
In your case, Dohalim, dreams have a habit of spiraling into something else.
You'll need to stay with us for now, though. You're too helpful to let retire.
Why do I feel this is less of a compliment and more of an ultimatum?
Just a friendly suggestion.
Es scheint, es war so rundum zugeschlossen. Aber bei dem Backel ist auch schon wieder irgendwas drin. Ah, scheiße.
Hey! Hey, I just realized something!
Is this about dinner last night? I didn't realize those ingredients were off.
What? No! I mean, wait, you fed us rotten food?
Rinwell, the point.
Oh, yeah, right. So I was thinking about those armored soldiers we've seen. There are regular Renans inside them, right?
Yeah, they're designed to make whoever's wearing them stronger. At least, I think that's the idea.
Right. So it kind of begs the question then, why are they made so huge?
I don't know, makes them more intimidating, I guess? Or maybe all that tech wizardry inside takes up a lot of space.
You don't think it's weird how the armored soldiers are the exact same height as the Helganquil?
Can't say I'd ever noticed it till now. And?
Connect the dots, Law!
Okay, let me get this straight. You think the armored suits might have originally been designed to allow Renans to work alongside the Helganquil?
Huh. But if that's true, what would that mean?
It would mean... just that, I guess. But still, don't you think it's kind of interesting?
Not... hugely? Hey, Kisara, well, I've got you. What's on tonight's menu? Because I was thinking, maybe meat?
Get him, Hoodle.
What did I do?
Oh, now you want to listen. Keep packing, Hoodle!
Ow, ow, ow! Seriously, what the hell?
Uh-huh.
You know, guys, when you think about it, we've taken out a lot of Zoogles. Like, a whole lot.
You can say that again. If one thing's for certain in this world, it's that wherever we go, we'll always end up bumping into them.
Isn't it weird that they're still so plentiful? You don't think the Renans have, like, a ranch where they breed them, do you?
Certainly in all of my years, I've never heard of them constructing such a massive facility on Dahna, let alone up in Lenegis.
The only thing I can think of, then, is that the feral ones must be reproducing on their own.
There's also no organized effort on our part to hunt them down, so it's difficult to fully exterminate them.
Exterminate them? Whoa, don't you think that's maybe a little harsh?
What do you mean?
Zoogles originally used to be living creatures native to Dahna and Rena, right? Being genetically modified isn't their fault.
You're right. Zeugles were only created because of us Renans. We altered the original creatures to suit our own ends.
First, people made Zeugles, and then we let them go. And now we're trying to kill them because they're a threat. They really have only seen the very worst, huh?
I hope we find a way to be able to live side by side with them one day.
It's a nice thought, but they attack towns and cities. What else are we supposed to do?
Aside from the strays that have gone wild, it's worth remembering that Renans are able to keep them somewhat under control.
If we had distinct territories that didn't overlap, that might reduce the danger they pose.
Well, I guess when you look at it that way, maybe people and Zeugles aren't so different after all.
Meine sind halt Viecher. Fertig.
Helganquil!
Guess they don't need their Red Woman disguises anymore.
Wait, can you understand us?
It's no use. We're not going to get through to them.
So they really are being controlled. In that case, we've got no choice.
Ja, dann machen wir die halt platt, die scheiß Viechers.
I knew there was something off here!
They're not pulling punches. We have no choice but to beat them at their own game.
Leave the enemy's arts to me!
No control here!
Where are you going?
In a bind?
Going in.
This one's all mine! Catapult! Burn!
Sorry.
Astral energy!
Say no more! Now! Here I come!
Overlord! Save you!
Lunar corruption!
Raining flash!
By the power of water! Annihilation!
Raining flash!
Burning
Take it
strike! Here's evil!
Lunar Rondo!
Freeze Lancer!
Mirage!
Shield and face!
Next on!
Flaming healing art!
Not today!
Make it rain!
Kisara!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Did it!
Yeah! Nice
You're
technique! First aid!
I'll face them! Strike!
Radiant blood!
Hier mach mal tektonische Spaltung. Aber warte mal. Ich wechsle da einfach auf hier.
Raise on fire! Mega ray! Make it rain! Fire flame!
Behold! The Earth pulse! Tectonic vision! Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Here, let me help!
Take it! Crumble! I'm not done! Can you take it? Finish it! Alpha! In an instant! Impact block!
Alphen,
I can't forgive them for what they've done, but I hate killing them. They don't even know why they're fighting. How does that even make them any different from the Dahnan slaves?
Perhaps. However, if we don't make a choice, the guilt of not doing anything will be that much worse.
Yeah, I know. I hate for it to be like this. But if it happens again, you won't find me hesitating to act.
I wonder if we're going to get attacked again.
If we lose heart now, this whole mission is over. We have to stay the course.
Okay. Jetzt wissen
I
wir, was
thought
für
there'd
Level
be
die
more
haben.
dirt and rocks and stuff underneath the hollowed ocean, but it's all artificial.
I would imagine they're remnants left behind by the Helganquil, seeing as there's little actual land remaining.
It's incredible. Do you think it stretches all the way down to the center of the planet?
Hey, these guys built Lenegus, remember? They probably did this in a weekend.
If they had the power to create things like this, did they really only use those immense capabilities to serve the Great Spirit? Or rather, Was that the only use the Great Spirit let them use their capabilities for?
Man hat ja gemerkt, dass der befreite Helgan, der immer unter dem Einfluss war von dem großen Spirit, dass der die Schnauze voll hat und mega aufpisst ist.
We haven't seen anyone here except Helganquil. Looks like this place really is their home planet.
The true citizens of Rena. What a shame that they have become nothing more than puppets to the Great Spirit. To think of the promise their accomplishments once held. They had the potential to be great indeed.
Do you think we could have got along with them? You know, if we had met under different circumstances. Like
all of us, you mean? I suppose it's difficult to say for sure. We don't even know if they would see us as being on an equal level with them or not.
I think we may have had the chance once, before the Renan Great Spirit came along and changed everything.
You and Alphen both share an optimism. A strong willingness to believe in hope.
Do you think that's foolish?
On the contrary, I should like to take a leaf from your book myself. In tragedy's aftermath, hope is all we have.
Alter, wie viele Nachrichten kann man denn einfach hier haben? Das ist ja Wahnsinn.
Just look at the size of that thing. Helganquil's technology certainly is impressive. And they don't seem to do things by halves either. In the past 300 years. No, even before that. Just how many people, Renan or Dahna, do you think have ever seen this?
Regarding the past 3 centuries, at least, I'd say there's a good chance that we're the first. Also, while I get that it's impressive and all, I'm just amazed you're still standing around gawping at it at a time like this. Sometimes I wonder about your priorities.
I can understand where he's coming from. More to the point, does anyone know where it leads?
What do you mean where it leads? To the center of the planet, of course.
And that doesn't strike you as sounding just a little bit, oh, I don't know, far? There has to be a quicker way to get there, right?
Yeah. With all this technology at their fingertips, it seems pretty unlikely that they'd make that kind of journey on foot. There must be some kind of device somewhere. Let's see if we can figure out how to use it.
Borrow one of their contraptions? You're either brave or out of your mind.
If it works for them, there's no reason it wouldn't for us. Why make things harder for ourselves?
You know what he's like, Law. Once he gets an idea in his head, there's no talking him out of it.
Wir könnten auch unseren Flüger nehmen und einfach auf die andere Seite des Planeten fliegen. Wo die Blume ist, direkt. Statt dass wir durch den ganzen beschissenen Planeten laufen. Aber das ist gerade so eine dumme Idee von mir.
I wonder how the Renans avoided being mind-controlled like the Helganquil. Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that they were originally Dahnans?
I'd say it's likely. Which is pretty ironic when you think about it.
Ironic?
The Renans have committed grave injustices against the Dahnans. But it was all of their own volition, not because they were being controlled. Now, it turns out they themselves were once Dahnans too.
Which must mean that the root of their evil isn't the Great Spirit, but something inherent in all of us. Our free will.
Now hang on, though. It was that same free will that allowed Xion and Dohalim to choose to fight alongside us. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to beat hatred and forge all those connections we've made. Free will is what saved us, right?
Law's entirely right. In any case, it certainly can't hurt to look on the bright side every now and then.
Yeah. Where there's hope, there's a way.
What'd he say?
He said, without a doubt.
Gracias. Das alles, was ich als Ziel habe? Ja, jetzt habe ich wieder einen ganzen Haufen andere Sachen, die ich da kann.
We've reached our destination.
Also leider ist es storytechnisch nicht so gemacht. Aber ich würde es toll finden, wenn die 4 Dinger hier besiegen nicht was Optionales war, sondern eine Aufgabe, die man erledigen muss, um zum großen Spirit zu kommen.
Hey, if we find anyone who needs help here...
I know. We'll make sure to ask...
I never realized before just how hot this place is. It's like being inside a fire.
You're only just noticing? Ah, yes, forgive me. The whole lack of sensory feedback situation.
That's the one. It's hard to believe I once worked in this soup, let alone helped spearhead a revolution.
And all with the mask concealing your face. It must have been very grimy beneath that.
Back then, we had our plates full enough dealing with constant abuse from our Renan overlords. It never occurred to me the air itself was oppressive in its own way. My head's spinning just with the effort it takes to walk.
I think that's called heat stroke. You might want to take a sip of water.
You mean that water that's been festering under the sun for days? I wouldn't chance it without boiling it first.
Oh, I know! I'll go to the dock and fetch us some clean water.
Water alone won't suffice. He'll need to ensure his sodium levels are replenished as well.
In that case, let's see if we can rustle up some rock salt. Alphen, you go cool off in the shade for a while. Shion, stay and keep an eye on him.
And then there were 2.
Bit of an overreaction, but it's still kind of them.
Maybe it's not the time, but this place brings back memories.
I know what you mean.
Waren wir überhaupt
We're
jemals
back
gut
where it
zusammen?
all started.
You don't ever regret meeting me sometimes, do you?
Are you kidding? You started all of this. Bringing down the wall, retrieving my sense of self. I have no regrets.
Die Rundbäckchen dazu.
Welcome back, Law.
Ja, jetzt schauen wir mal Feldhandbuch. Der 40 ist schon wieder so viel Zeit verhaut, weil es einfach 1 Million blöde Dinger gibt hier. Da werden sie halt dazu schreiben dann, was für Level das man ungefähr sein soll. Das war heute eine schöne Sache. So, was hast du jetzt?
Hey.
Kohl. Das ist Kohl und sein Kumpel heißt Dampf.
Yes.
Just great.
Das habt doch nur 2 Städte, das ganze Land.
How's this?
Got it.
Hey!
Yay!
All right.
Das ist ja nur so ein Gehirschmatz mit irgendwem Quest. Das können wir machen. Das ist ja kein so großes Problem mit. Ja, ich mache jetzt auf jeden Fall die Quests und die 3 großen. Die noch über. Der 4. große Ifrit, den habe ich ja schon. Und wenn ich dann die 3 großen gemacht habe, dann schauen wir mal, was weitergeht. Ich war noch mindestens 2 andere Nebenquests, die wollte ich noch erledigen. Ich will mich heute auch nicht aus Versehen zu stark machen, bevor ich dann gegen den kämpfe. Bevor ich dann in den Dings dann schneide. Ich weiß, dass die Viecher da so 53 Uhr sind.
Hey, she's pretty cute.
Who are you looking at? Quit gawking and let's go.
Ow!
Das heißt, den Ding mache ich erst dann, wenn ich mir sicher bin, dass ich tue nach jedem Dungeon immer schauen, wie ich drauf bin. Und auch schauen, was für ein Level das der Dungeon selber hat. Weil wenn ich jetzt in den ersten reingehe und der hat schon irgendwie 63 oder sowas, dann war ich, dass es nicht gedacht ist, dass er das vor dem Grand Spirit macht. Aber manchmal muss er schauen. Alter, hier ist ja richtige Menschenversammlung, das ist ja obergeil. Das gefällt mir. Ich kann mir vorstellen, das Schloss ist jetzt mittlerweile seine eigene Stadt, ha? Wenn hier so wahnsinnig viele Leute leben. Ich hätte mal einen Screenshot machen, das gefällt mir, dass das so voll ist mit Menschen. Das gefällt mir wirklich gut.
Hey, Alvin, what do you think of that chick over there?
Doesn't look like she really works out.
I'm not talking about her muscles, you dummy!
Da sitzt der René oder umeinander. Der ist von LDMLC. Wo seid ihr geflohen? Es gibt keinen Lord mehr. Wir haben alle Lords den Kopf kürzer gemacht. Außer ToA Teil. Achso, ja, der Weltraumlaser. Den hab ich vergessen. Das bisschen Weltraumlaser. Schon ist ja Panik bei dem. Was ist denn hier los, Alter?
Hey! Yes!
Right.
Sure.
I don't believe this.
Ah!
Okay! Great! Got it.
Yes! Yes!
Oh wow, echt. Was für Zeug brauche ich? Eier, 6 Eier. Das sind viel für das Code. Wo krieg ich denn jetzt? Wo soll ich denn jetzt auf einmal Eier herkriegen? Gehen wir jetzt zu jedem Laden und schauen, ob der Eier verkauft.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
This is what we were asked to get, wasn't it?
3 mal 3. Okay, das hat schon geholfen. Wenn die Kickerl hier Eier haben...
Looks like we get to sleep with a roof.
Das vielleicht. Fleischreste und Karpfen. Wow. Wow, ich komme mein Glück kaum fast.
Over our heads.
Ah ja, na also.
You can never be too prepared. But did we have to spend so much?
Hey, Rinwell, tell me about your parents. What were they like?
They were kind. That's the part I like to remember. They could also be strict, though, especially when it came to magic. I never understood why I had to work so hard to learn magic. Why we couldn't just be done with it and live openly like everyone else. Needless to say, that didn't go over well. Of course, if I'd known that one day I'd be doing this, I would have taken my studies more seriously. What about your parents?
Same deal. Run through the mill. Told constantly that training was the only way to survive in a world like this. It got bad enough that I ended up running away and siding with the Renans of all people. And now, I've got that training to thank for being alive.
I know how that feels.
The first time we met, you risked using your magic to stop me from kicking my dad's ass. You could have done anything else. You could have ignored it. So, why?
Yeah, I guess something about Zephyr reminded me of my own father.
You don't say. So, did your pops and mine look a lot like each other?
Not really. Not at all, in fact. I don't know how to explain it. I just felt a resemblance, I guess.
Wow. Well, I won't pretend I understand, but I'm glad. Your dad must have been a great guy.
He was.
Großartig. Oh Mann.
Maybe it's the snow soaking up all the sound, but something about Cislodia always feels mysterious to me. Solemn, almost.
When it comes to solemnity, I'd say our own Octalina Palace is no slouch.
I won't argue with you there. Still, that azure tint of the shadows on the silvery white snow, it has a certain indescribable quality.
Indeed. It was boorish of me to even suggest such a comparison.
All I know is it's freaking cold. Still, more pleasant now that the locals aren't quite as frosty towards us.
Well, excuse me if I'm too frosty for your warm self.
Oh, come on! You know I didn't mean you. Besides, really, I'm the one who...
How about we stop getting hung up on the past for a change? Take what you've learned and put it to use in the future instead.
An unexamined past can be just as dangerous in its own right.
Better that than obsessing over it like a certain someone I know.
Kisara doesn't mince her words, does she?
I could say the same thing about one or two of the other women around here.
Tell me about it.
I think I'll refrain from commenting on this one.
Oh, guck mal. Ey, das ist ja nicht normal.